welcome to my channel. Today's video, it's a lot. I am doing our end of year curriculum reviews, and I decided to just kind of put everything together for my second grader and fourth grader. All the stuff we used, either they used independently or we used for family subjects. So there is a lot I'm going through in this video. So grab a notebook if you want to take notes, get something to drink, a snack, and stay tuned. All right, so we have wrapped up our 2022-2023 school year. I have, if you're new here, this past school year I had a preschooler, a second grader, and a fourth grader. In this video, pretty much everything I'm going to be talking about was stuff I used with my second and fourth grader. I've done separate videos specifically on my preschooler, what we used, what didn't work, and so if you're interested in more of that age level, I'll link some of those down below. But I have tons of stuff sitting next to me. It's been a lot of stuff. I don't have everything that we used because I started the year off with a lot of curriculum that I switched quickly and I sold it. And so I don't have a lot of it to show you, but I feel like I've already done kind of videos on that. So I scrounged up everything that I could find, stuff that we just kind of wrapped up. And so I'm just going to kind of hold up everything and show it and say some comments on it. If you have more specific questions, or if you've heard me talk about a curriculum before and I don't mention it and you're curious of what happened, leave it down below in the comments. I'm pretty good at responding to those. I did do some sort of organization. I have stuff that my second grader worked on independently, my fourth grader, and then our family subjects. So I will put timestamps if you're curious more of just a specific grade level or the family subjects. I am going to go into the family subjects first. This is what both my daughters used. Most of the time I was doing the lessons along with them, and sometimes my preschooler would join in. And you think I'm crazy when I say there's a lot. This is just our family subject stack, so it is insane. We did a ton of unit studies this year. We did a lot from Moving Beyond the Page. I have a whole Moving Beyond the Page playlist. Every time we finished a unit, I did a video on it. So I don't have all of the units we did. I think we have completed 5 of them this year. Who Was Helen Keller was the most recent one I think we completed, and Charlotte's Web. So if you want more information on both of these, leave them down below. Obviously, we've done 5 Moving Beyond the Page units. I plan to do more. I like them. If you want to learn more about them, go check out that playlist down below. And even though they are specific, these are ages 7 to 9, I did them with both my second and fourth grader, and neither of them had any issues. We did also have this literature guide from Great Works for Charlotte's Web. I originally had this when I first started our homeschool year, and this is what I plan to use. I honestly just did not like the way that this literature guide is set up. I didn't really, I guess it was more of like the activities I didn't like. I didn't really like how it was set up. So yeah, I much prefer Moving Beyond the Page to these Great Works literature guides. So the only thing we ended up using in this was these little cutouts in the back. We made little dioramas of a scene from Charlotte's Web, and they used those to create their characters. But other than that, I don't like these literature guides. We made some huge changes when it came to language arts, and so we did try out IEW Structure and Style Year 1 Level A again with both my daughters, and we really liked it. We got through the first unit. Oh no, the first 3 units. So units 1, 2, and 3, and then this upcoming school year we're going to jump back in on unit 4 through 7. So I really wanted to try it out, and my kids absolutely loved it. My second grader included, and so that is why I made the decision to keep this and keep them working on it together. Same thing with Guest Hollow's Beowulf Grammar. This was also something that we kind of started, and both my kids really like it. Super easy for me as the teacher. It's engaging. I feel like they're learning a ton, and so we did the first semester, I guess, of this, or units, and we will pick back up this upcoming school year to finish this out. Some units from Gather Round. This was our first year using Gather Round's curriculum, and so was this our first unit? Yeah, North America. I think this was the first unit I bought, and we started it and then we paused because it got into the holiday months, and so then we had to finish it after all the holidays, which was fine. It's 20 lessons and specifically on North America, so it goes over the different countries, the layout of the continent, and we really liked it. It was a really great introduction to Gather Round, and we really liked the setup. I had to kind of adjust to learning that style. You know, there's a lot of teacher reading and then the activities the kids need to do, but we really liked it. I haven't picked any more units for our upcoming year, but I have a feeling I will add some in. We did the maturation unit from The Good and the Beautiful. This, I guess they just redid this one recently within like the past couple of weeks, because I had just bought this a couple months ago. They were having a sale, and so I bought the digital copy of this because it's just something that we've talked about, but I just wanted like a more formal curriculum. So it took us maybe a week or two. There were some lessons that I skipped. I felt that it either was going way more into a topic than I felt was necessary, and yeah, so I didn't love this. I'm excited to see Gather Rounds. I think it's called Growing with God, as well as Barefoot Within the Trees is putting out their Birds in the Bee unit. So I'm excited to see those. The Good and the Beautiful, it's just one level for all ages, and so I think that's maybe where some of those lessons were getting a little in depth that I didn't want to discuss at this point with my kids. So the Growing with God from Gather Round has 3 different levels, and they're specific to boys or girls. And then the Birds and the Bees, I think as well, may have some different levels to it. So I will be sharing more on those, because I think this is a topic that it's not like one and done. This is something that needs to be discussed throughout the years. We did Bookshark's Volcano unit. Bookshark has a bunch of free unit studies. All that you need is one book with the unit, and then it's just like a little mini unit. So we did their Volcanoes one, and so it was like an easy, I think, 2-week just study on volcanoes. They had some fun little activities on it. This book is really fun that we learned about. So this was like, because we didn't have an official science curriculum this year, so that was kind of one of the things we used for science. Like I said, they have a few different free units. You just need the book, so I'll link their free unit page down below. We did the St. Patrick's Day unit from Gather Round. This was a mini unit. It took 3 days, I think, so like 3 days of lessons, and you made this lap book, which wasn't my favorite just because the printing of it was a nightmare, but my kids were rock stars and they really liked it, and so this is a little fun memory to have, and we learned a ton about St. Patrick's Day. So if you ever have an interest to go a little bit more in depth on the history of St. Patrick's Day, this is a good unit. Just give yourself some patience when printing all of the stuff for the slab book. Give yourself extra time for cutting and pasting, because that was the hardest part of that lesson. We completed a human body study unit that I created. This is actually free. I just updated it for this year, just making it a little bit more simplified because we did run through the whole unit this year. So this goes over all the main body systems. You do need a book as the required resource, but we had an amazing time. We built like these life-size human body cutouts. So after we learned about a body system, we would put the parts of that system on our bodies, and they're still in our homeschool room. So if you're looking for a free human body unit, I will link that down below. During the holidays, we did some fun units. We did the All Things Spooky from Barefoot Within the Trees. I absolutely loved this unit. It was a really fun unit. There's stuff we didn't even get to because there's so many different topics in here. Plus this coming Halloween, the creator of Barefoot Within the Trees is adding a couple like extensions on. So I'm excited for that. But this, like, we did a whole study on R.L. Stine and Goosebumps, the Salem Witch Trials, the Black Plague, Edgar Allan Poe, and so that's what we did. We only did a few of them, but there's the history of the jack-o'-lantern, Day of the Dead, Frankenstein, zombies, vampires, werewolves. I think Area 51's getting added, and a couple other things are getting added. So I'm really excited to use this again this upcoming year, but this was a super fun unit. And then also from Barefoot Within the Trees, they released their Christmas Around the World, different countries and how they celebrate Christmas or their version of it. Again, we did not even get close to all of these countries, so this is something that we will continue to use this upcoming school year. I am a brand rep for Barefoot Within the Trees. They have tons of different unit studies and literature guides, so if you're interested in these, I have a 20% off discount link down below that I will link as well. We also, during like fall Thanksgiving time, we jumped into one of Gather Round's mini history units. So this is their US History 1, A New World, and we did it, I feel like, right at the perfect time around, it was leading up to Thanksgiving, and maybe a week or two after that. It was great. It was a, you know, it's a mini unit, so it's less reading than their traditional units. It's strictly history, so you're not getting too far off on like language arts and stuff. I really liked it. As far as a history curriculum, I tend to not like history curriculums. I think the hardest thing is my kids had a hard time retaining a lot of information. And because I'm almost thinking, so it's 20 lessons over a very small time frame. And so I feel like maybe it was a little bit more in depth. Like it wasn't, I feel like we need something that's a little bit quicker to start with, that goes through pretty much all the history and like the major things that happened. And then as they get older, go a little bit more in depth like this. So I do feel like these history units are something we'll use again in the future. I just think we need to start somewhere else first. We also got one of the bundles from Home and Haven. They do a seasonal bundle. So they do a summer, fall, winter, and spring. I'm guessing this was their fall bundle. I don't know. So basically, I think it's like around $20 and you get tons of stuff. But this one had an 8-week Little House in the Big Woods book study. So we read that book and did this. Now, we really liked this. It was great to read that book, but all the other stuff that it comes with, like I'm talking hundreds of pages of other activities. It was cute, but we didn't use any of it. So I will probably never buy one of those huge bundles again because I just feel like we didn't use any of it. And I could find another study on this book. And actually what it is it's a collection of people who make all these studies. So I could probably go just buy this from whoever made this study, I think. So that was my experience buying one of those bundles. I would probably never do it again, but we did enjoy reading this book and this little study that came along with it. We also finished up, I made another unit study, and this was all about raccoons. It totally started off as a joke. I really do like raccoons, but I decided to make a whole little science unit on them. This is also free from my website, so I'll link that down below. But this was a little fun science unit to end our school year. We just finished this one up as well. And we were working on the Barefoot Within the Trees Echo Mountain unit study. This just got released. And I will say we got through a few chapters of the book, and it's not that the book was too difficult to read. Both my girls were doing just fine reading it. I just feel like it's just for an older age. I'm going to hold off on reading the book maybe till I have both kids in middle school. That might be a little bit better. It's a long book. It was good, don't get me wrong. It's not that the book, it seemed very engaging. I like kind of like the idea behind it. It's right after the Great Depression. They're living out by a mountain. They need like natural resources and medicine. I just think the book is for an older age level, as well as it was a really long book, and to try to squeeze that in at the end of the school year just wasn't working. Right, last thing that I have in my stack as far as family subjects was we started using word roots, and this is the level beginning. So this is for grades 3 to 4, and this is just a basic introduction into word roots, prefix, suffix, starting to break words apart. And so we only got maybe to like lesson 10, and I've already noticed, as much as sometimes my kids are like, I don't understand what you're saying, just constantly going over how words are broken up, like how to identify the prefix, the root, and then once you know what a prefix means, how to like decipher that when you see a word you don't know. We were doing another curriculum, and there was a word that they needed to define, and they were able to break the word apart because of word roots. So this is definitely a unique approach to vocabulary, but it's something that I really like, and so this is something that we're going to continue into the upcoming school year as well. All right, so that was pretty much all the stuff I still have that we did as family units, so lots of unit studies. Then also my daughters had their individual stuff. So let's start with my 4th grader because her stack is closer to me. We started our year off choosing to use the Good and the Beautiful for both language arts and math. And if you're new here, we chose to stop using the Good and the Beautiful. If you're not new here, then no surprise to that. But because I physically have some of the stuff, I'll talk about it briefly, but I made a whole video why we stopped using it. So this was the Good and the Beautiful level 4 language arts. It also had a separate writing and spelling workbook. So you would do a lesson in here, and then you'd also have to do like a spelling or writing lesson. We got to lesson 20-ish. It just wasn't working out. I just felt like it wasn't going in depth in the right areas. I don't feel like it was focusing on the right areas. My daughter's favorite part of this was the art lessons, which the art lessons are great, but that's not what I'm using this curriculum for. I needed this to be a language arts curriculum, and I just felt like we were not getting that out of this curriculum. So very soon into the year, I knew that, and we stopped using it. So there's that. We did use handwriting from the Good and the Beautiful level 4, and so my 4th grader did finish this, and their handwriting program's fine. No, it was just this one, it just was a little slow, I think, getting into it. And so my daughter has learned cursive thanks to using the Good and the Beautiful's handwriting courses. She's used level 2 and level 3 and level 4. But we're just looking for something that goes a little bit quicker, as well as, you know, this doesn't really teach you like how to read it, or like you're really just kind of copying and doing it. So we are changing our handwriting curriculum this year, but no bad complaints about it. It's just we're looking for something different. We did try Wordly Wise this year. So this is Wordly Wise 4. My 4th grader did not finish it. I will say that the level 4, so we also had level 2 for my 2nd grader. Level 4 was a lot more like in depth, which I get it. They're an older grade, but it just like they had way more words. Yeah, so it just didn't fit for us. It didn't work for her, and I wasn't going to force her to do something that she didn't enjoy, and it took a lot of time for her. So, yeah, we didn't finish this, and it's not something that we would do again. I much prefer the word roots vocabulary approach than Wordly Wise. We switched math. So we switched to Saxon Math, Saxon 5-4, using Nicole the Math Lady. So Nicole the Math Lady teaches the lesson, and we absolutely love Saxon, and so that's what we're going to be continuing to use into the new school year. All right, now moving on to my 2nd grader. So she started the year using the Good and Beautiful Math 2, and she did complete this. So unlike my older daughter, which I think I sold Math 4, that's why I didn't have it, she completely stopped using it. So she got through, I'm thinking like 20 lessons, and we knew it wasn't working, and I think I sold that one, so that's why I don't have it. But my 2nd grader, she liked the Good and Beautiful, and I get it. It's cute, it's colorful. She was having no issues with it, so there was really no reason for me to make her switch or stop. But so she completed all of Math 2, but she completed this in like January, and so we still had like 4 or 5 months of school left. So I wasn't just gonna let her not do anything, and so I had made the decision I wanted her to also switch to Saxon. I just think overall it's a better program, and so she started working on Saxon Math 3. She got through 30 lessons, and so this is something that she will continue working on into her 3rd grade year. She also was doing Wordly Wise. Her book is much smaller. Her word lists were much smaller, again because it was level 2 compared to level 4. She did finish all of Wordly Wise, but she did not like it, and for my 2nd grader to say she doesn't like something is very odd. She's not one to complain. She will pretty much do whatever there is to do because she enjoys schoolwork, and so when she told me she wasn't a fan of Wordly Wise, I knew it just wasn't going to be working for us. She also completed Song School Spanish Book 1. She really liked this. We actually got the online lessons where there's a teacher teaching the lesson and then they do their independent work in this book. So she has completed Book 1 and has started Book 2 already, and so that will be also something that she continues into the upcoming school year. She did not have an official handwriting curriculum when we started the year. Her print has always been really great, and so she would have been in the Good and the Beautiful level 2 handwriting, and she just did not need any more print practice. And I didn't, when we started the year, cursive just wasn't on my mind, but as we got like halfway through the year, I'm like, okay, let's start introducing cursive because she wanted to. So I wanted to try something different. So we tried Handwriting Without Tears, their cursive kickoff, and she did really, really great with it. She liked it. She's definitely starting to learn and read cursive. I think this is a good introduction, but I honestly don't like the way they teach cursive because it's easy to read, which is great for learning, but this isn't. If you look at an old document that's written in cursive, this is not how they wrote. As well as I think it's letter Q. They teach it completely different than I learned it, and most other curriculums teach it. So that was a little odd. So like I said, both the girls, I think I'm switching their handwriting curriculum for the upcoming year to Zahner Blosser, which I'll be sharing more on as we get to the year. She also did a unit study on her own from Sunlight. Sunlight has this 50 states unit study, and basically you pick a state and they have all these like fun activities on that state specifically. And so she made a little folder on the state, and then you get this book, the 50 States book, and so that was really fun. And then I think like this book is something that we'll continue to use for reference on different things. And that reminded me, there was one more thing that we did as a family, and that was the Sunlight Butterfly unit. So again, Sunlight does have some standalone little unit studies, and so this one was about a 3 or 4 week unit study. We had some really cute little books we read through, and then alongside it you get the caterpillars, and as your caterpillars are growing like through their cycle, your lessons correspond with that. And so the week that they're caterpillars, you learn about that. The week that they go in their cocoons, you learn about that. And then when they are butterflies, you learn about that. So it was a really cute unit and really fun for spring. I mean, my kids really liked it. That was one that my preschooler joined us on, and I mean, the unit was great, but the whole thing of having the butterflies and growing, I mean, that just amazes kids regardless of what you're doing with it. So that was a really fun unit for spring. Okay, that was a lot. I thought this video was going to be a lot longer, but I did not go in depth on all of them because we would be here for hours. So if you do have questions on anything I talked about or mentioned today, or again, if I did not show something, I probably have sold it and I just can't remember, but I have probably made a video on it. So if you're looking for something specific or you have questions on something, leave that down below in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am doing this video so I can get rid of all of this stuff from this past school year. I will be putting out some videos cleaning up our homeschool room, organizing all the new curriculum, because I'm in that weird middle place where I have all of last year's curriculum and all of the upcoming curriculum, and it's like everywhere, overflowing. So I'm excited to get this organized and cleaned up, so I'll be making videos on that, all the curriculum videos, you know, what I've been working on during summer. So if you're interested in those types of videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. That's a free way to support my channel. Thanks so much for being here, guys, and we'll chat soon. Bye.